Hello everybody! Petra is live for her first time of the week. We only go live once a week, but Petra is live for her live time this week. We're just going to be hanging out for like a minute or two, waiting for everyone to join in, and then we'll start. Petra is just watching very intently. She's like, what is that? She's very curious today. She has a piece of shed next to her, and she hasn't shed in, like, I think she shed a few weeks to a month ago. I don't have the exact time, so she must have been hiding a piece in that corner that she just moved so she could sit. Petra's like slowly approaching. She's actually gotten a little bit more of an appetite recently. I don't know if that has to do with the weather warming up a little, because I have seen a bunch of signs that spring is coming, like some of the like snowdrops and crocuses and those other first like spring flowers around where me and Petra live have started to come up. So for me, that's definitely like a major sign that spring is like here or very close. So I feel like Petra is also noticing that because it's been a little bit warmer. And then I think last time I was talking about that I got her a package, and she had a package coming in the mail. I ordered her some stuff. That package came a little bit ago. I'm super excited to share all the stuff that I got for her with you guys. It'll probably be in her birthday video, which I'm planning to make a long form video about that. They'll probably or two shorts too for her birthday, but I'm hoping to do a long video of like me setting up the decorations, her experience, singing her happy birthday. Nothing crazy long, probably just like a few minutes. Oh, a big yawn, Petra. Petra's sleepy. She's been napping most of the day. Hello everyone, welcome in. Ask any questions or share whatever you'd like. So yeah, her birthday is in like 2 or 3 weeks, I think. She's gonna be turning 3 years old. When I got her, she had like just turned 1. It's so crazy that I've already had 2 years. And then I'm also hoping to make like a long form video when it gets warmer about like me taking Petra on a walk and kind of some tips and tricks if you do want to take your reptiles or like specifically your snake out for a walk, and kind of how do you have the snake stay calm, have it be an enjoyable experience, and also like for people who have a fear of reptiles, how to kind of like find areas that aren't super crowded. I'm scared of snakes. That's okay. It's perfectly fine if you're scared of snakes. It's a legit phobia, so if you'd like to leave alive, that's fine. I don't mind. What reptiles do you have? I have Ballpython, as you can see here, and then I also have 3 anoles. Those are the only reptiles I have, but I do have a bunch of other exotic animals. I have 2 African dwarf frogs. I have shrimp and fish that I have all in a tank. I have bait fish. So I don't have like a crazy amount of reptiles. Well, I have 4, that's a good amount, but I do have like a good amount of animals in general. Not all of them are reptiles. Petra's just like resting her head. She's decided to just stare at the wall now. She's been back and forth between that corner and then, if you guys are familiar with the channel, the other corner where her little log hide is. She's kind of been in between there and then right now today, and she hasn't done much else. She's having a little like sleepy nap day. I didn't really do too much today either, for like the first time, because usually I'm running around and I have a bunch of things that I'm doing before all, and then I get home, kind of settle down, check in on all the animals, and then me and Petra go live. But I mean, I'm sure there's other times where I wasn't really doing anything before me and went live in the past, but I feel like that hasn't happened in a while. So yeah, I was getting some new bows for Petra for tomorrow's video. A little bit of like a hint, sneak peek. For anyone who's new, we do kind of some extra information and some sneak peeks and just fun stuff and like exclusive things for people who join the lives, and you can get like sneak peeks of like upcoming videos and stuff, or we'll talk about future plans for the channel, different stuff like that. So yeah, I got some new bows for her today, and then I'm also working on designing a new spanner because that's on the way. I think it's time to get rid of the winter one that's up. But this is the first time where I'm not really sure what to do with it. I have a few different ideas, but I'm not entirely sure like what. Because I've been thinking I could do like a picnic theme, which would be cute, or I could do her in a field of tulips. I'm not really sure. I've played around with a few things, but I don't really like how some of the flowers turned out, so I ended up kind of like, what's it called? I ended up kind of like scrapping some ideas and starting over, so I'm not sure. Picnic idea with like, I would do a red and white checkered blanket because I think they look really cute. But I want to incorporate some flowers and like some other things so it looks like, that would still be cute though. I really want to do some photo shoots with Petra when it gets warm enough. Obviously I can't take her to a beach because I don't want her getting like, not that like, I don't think sand has bugs or anything. I'm sure it has like a fly or something. There's animals and like little stuff at the beach, of course, but I wouldn't want her getting like any sand fleas or like something that can get stuck to her. And then obviously beaches are really crowded. I wouldn't want to scare people. I also wouldn't want her to get stressed out, and it's really bright. I wouldn't want to hurt her eyes. So I think it'd be really cute to set up like a fake beach scene, and then I could edit in some sand and do a little bit of like editing magic to make it look. I think that would be really cute. And then I have this one place where I could take her, where I could actually set up like a nice little picnic scene. I think that would be cute. That's like my #1 photo shoot that I want to do with her this year. A little like picnic scene. I feel like this year is going by super fast because like I think we're already in like, let's see, January, February, March. So we're already like almost 3 months into 2025. That's crazy. I feel like it was just January. And I was like thinking, oh, Petra's birthday is coming up in a few months. I still have time, like way in the future. That's months ahead, and now it's almost here. Like, I know everyone says that, but like I feel like time like really is going fast this year. Petra's just staring very intently at the wall. Sand fleas wouldn't bother her with the sun. There are plenty of snakes on and at the beach. Oh, really? Well, we're in New York, so we don't get any. I think I've seen one little snake kind of like in the reeds of like a secluded beachy area, not really a beach. But sometimes the sun actually does bother her. This could just be her and she's just, I don't know, she's just weird. No, sorry, Petra. But like maybe she's just like weird about the sun, because I notice that sometimes if it's too bright, like sometimes I'll be sitting with her and huge window in the room that she's in, and the sun will be really bright at like kind of in between like 9 and 10 in the morning. And sometimes if it gets kind of on her face, she'll like move away, or she'll show, like, obviously, like on discomfort or like she doesn't want to be in the sun. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up if sand fleas wouldn't bother her. Like, even if they don't hurt her, I don't want bugs on her or anything. Depends on the time of day and has green eyes, so that's why. Oh, I don't know if the color eyes would affect how she sees the sun, but that's interesting. Yeah, also beaches are like, if it's in the middle of like summer, which is kind of the only time I can take her out, cold or having to worry about like her getting pneumonia or something like super bad like that, because it has to be, I like when the weather's like 80 degrees and up to bring her outside. So that's when the beach and there's a bunch of people and I wouldn't want to scare anyone or cause a scene. And then some of the beaches near us are also no animals allowed. Maybe we could find a way to make it work. I would have to go to like, I would have to bring her to a private beach or something. Or not really like a beach, like just a little like area where it would be around away from people, and I could put a little towel down or something. Petra's just very cozy. She's placed her head on, she has like a little branch. I'll show it. She has a little branch right there and she just has her head right on it and she's super cozy. The color of her eyes makes her more sensitive to sunlight. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Petra has such pretty eyes. I feel like they're not real. I don't show them. You see her eyes. I feel like the camera doesn't pick them up that well most of the time, because I see a lot of times in our videos they either look kind of like slightly greenish, but they look either more brown or like just totally black, because her eyes are like, they're not small compared to the rest of her body, but like for the camera to pick up, they're like not the biggest thing to pick up. So I feel a lot of times it doesn't read her eyes properly and it makes them look kind of discolored, as green as they are. But in person or with proper lighting, her eyes are so green and they have like these little bursts of blue. They're super pretty. I've been catching all, especially snakes, for over 15 years, and I breed sand boas and keep a nice amount of now. Cool! I love sand boas. They're so cute. What size tank does Pet have? It looks huge. Right now, she has a 40-gallon tank, which is, I would recommend, kind of like the smallest you can, not smallest, but like, I would say get a 40-gallon and up, and a 40-gallon and bigger tank if you're going to house a ball python, is my recommendation, 40 gallons and up. This probably isn't going to be her permanent tank. I will, once she gets bigger, if needed, I will definitely, it's not going to get any longer, but I'll make it higher and I'll put some platforms and different things so she can stretch out up and down, and she can lay across on like big hammocks and stuff. So, if ever needed, I will get her a bigger cage. That's like way in the future though. As of now, she's, I think, a little bit over 3 feet, or like 3.5 feet. I don't know the exact measurements. I don't have them. I have them written down somewhere. I think it's on my bulletin board, but I don't know how big she is exactly as of the moment. When she gets like full grown, I'll definitely get her a bigger tank. Oh, Petra's decided that spot isn't comfy anymore, and she's gonna come back over here. Oh, are you just gonna hide your head, Petra? She's like, goodbye, I'm done with this. She's silly. Oh, welcome back. Recently, I discovered that arm warmers, like human arm warmers, fit Petra really well. So I'm definitely going to order her. I ordered her one pair to just how they would fit. They looked kind of small at first, so I was like, I don't know. But they're made of like this really stretchy fabric, so I'm definitely going to be ordering more of those. So if anyone has snakes that they make sweaters, buy sweaters for, or anything like that, I definitely recommend. I mean, if you have like a really small snake, I don't think they would fit because kind of compare it to their arm, how the thickness of what it would be. But for most kind of decent sized snakes like Petra, I think she's like 6 inches if you put like a tape measure around her. I don't know, what would they say? Her width, I think, is like, right? Yeah, I think her width is around 6 inches, so that's kind of similar to someone's arm. So I'm definitely going to be getting her more of those. So for anybody who like gets little sweaters or anything for their reptiles or their snakes specifically, I don't think a arm warmer would fit very nicely on a lizard, but I totally recommend. Obviously check the fabric and make sure there's nothing toxic or anything in it though. Petra looks like a little cookie right now. She's all coiled up. Before, she was coiled up super, super tightly, and she was a perfect circle. Oh, hold on. Let me grab something that I want to show. Okay, so every like once a year, I like to have, well, I don't like to have, I like to take either a shed or I have Petra make a little print in these like nice ink pads. And what it is there's an ink pad, but there's a layer of plastic in between the ink and the actual animal or the baby, whatever person or pet having make the little mark in the ink. So she doesn't touch the ink or anything like that. She stays totally clean. She's just touching this really thin layer of plastic. The print will go through that. This one I made with one of her old sheds. This is when she was 2 years old. So you can see those are kind of her scale prints in the ink. And then right there are her belly scales. So I do this here and it just kind of like marks how she's grown. And then when she was 1.5, I think, I had her make a little tint in the ink, and I still have that somewhere, but it's in a shelf, and there's like a glass door in front of it, and I would have to move things to open it, so I can't show that one, unfortunately. But yeah, I made this one with one of her, and it turned out super cool. I'm planning to do another one when she turns 3. So yeah, if anyone wants to do that with their pet, you just Google like non-mess ink pads or non-touch ink pads. I'm not really sure the exact name of it. And they'll come up and there's a layer of plastic between the ink and the actual who or whatever's making the mark in the ink. So totally safe. Her person doesn't get dirty at all. So super nice. Does Petra have a bioactive tank? No, she doesn't have a bioactive tank. She just has just mulch in it. So there's no isopods, or she's the only living thing in the tank. When we got sphagnum moss for her, she used to have a humidity box. For anyone wondering, because I think I got asked this recently why she doesn't have a humidity box. She used to. It's like I can't grab it because it's like, sorry if there's weird noises, by the way. I'm sitting on a couch behind the camera that's kind of old, so the foam makes like noises. So yeah, she used to have a humidity box, and she wouldn't really use it that much. She was kind of interested in it at first because she's like, oh, what's this? It's in my tank. And then she kind of just didn't really use it anymore. She just soaks in her water bowl instead, and her sheds have been completely healthy. So I just decided to take it out since she wasn't really doing anything with it, and she didn't. So that's why she doesn't have a humidity box. But when I did have sphagnum moss, I noticed there was like a few little like it wasn't anything that wasn't supposed to be. And sphagnum moss comes with like little bugs or something like that are kind of like decomposers on the sphagnum moss, I've noticed. But yeah, she doesn't have a bioactive enclosure. Good question though. Hi, I'm late. No, you're fine. We still have like 10 minutes. You're right on time, no worries. Petra's not being eventful this live. She yawned in the beginning. She had a really good like yawn. She was facing the camera too. Other than that though, she just kind of moved a little bit in the corner and now she's comfortable, so she's sitting. She's enjoying the rest of her weekend. Well, every day's a weekend for Petra. She doesn't have to work or do anything. Well, I take her out and we film our little videos and stuff, but that takes for like ever. Our videos happen over the course of like multiple days because I like that she's happy and comfortable and stuff. So let's say I'm putting a sweater on her and I'm kind of placing her and waiting till she gets in a good angle for me to filming, and she'll wiggle away. She doesn't really want to wear a sweater or a hat, and I'm like, okay, so I put her in, I leave her for the rest of the day, or I take her out, not to film, just to act with her. So if she decides, I don't want to do this, then it doesn't happen. So do you have advice for Wednesday? She has a generic shedding problem and I don't know how to help her shed some more. So I recommend a humidity box. This is like any container or Tupperware that will fit in nicely. It could just be like literally like a plastic Tupperware you would put like a leftovers in. Then just cut a hole or an opening big enough. I recommend you do it on the side and not the top. I tend not to go in if the hole's like on the lid for whatever reason. They just like don't like going down. So put it on the side of the container, and then if you have hot glue or anything like that, put it around where you cut it so that way it's not sharp. Fill it with sphagnum moss, and then whenever you go to spray the cure, put humidity in the cage. Just also make the moss in the humidity box really damp. You can just search up like videos on how to make a humidity box for your ball python. I'm sure a lot of stuff will come up and they can probably explain it a little bit better than I can. So yeah, if she doesn't already have one, I recommend a humidity box. Definitely, like, Petra's a little silly. She just soaks in her, she thinks that she's like a pond snake or something, but that works for her, so I just let her do that. She knows what she's doing. She has instincts. But if when soaking or shedding properly on her own, I recommend that you put in a humidity box. And I also recommend you get, if you don't already, a hydrometer or a hydromometer, whatever you want to call it. And that'll, you can in the same section as the thermometers in the reptile section of whatever pet store. And that'll tell you how much humidity, the percentage, or the estimate, like kind of like close to the percentage. I don't know if it's exact, but pretty close to the percentage of humidity that's in the tank. So when she's getting kind of sluggish, her eyes are turning like blue, and she's starting to shed, I would recommend having the humidity 60% and up. Oh my god, beautiful baby. Thank you. She's very pretty now because she shed a little bit ago, so she's not as like fresh and shiny as she was, but she's still got that like recently-ish shed look. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll try that. Of course. Always happy to give advice. That could also be a video, how to like properly set up a ball python tank, or how to make a humidity box that we could do. That'd be interesting. Okay, with that, we are at 25 minutes, so we'll dive for like 5-6 more minutes. So if you guys have any questions or anything you'd like to put in the chat, feel free to ask, or feel free to say whatever you're thinking, and then we'll start wrapping up in a little bit. Petra's just like, wow, this wall is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So silly. At one point, I had a little enrichment board in here for her. She was like okay with it at first, but then she was like, I'm kind of tired of this, and she likes the hammocks, she likes to climb, she just stuff in her tank. She likes to play with toys if it's outside of her tank, but if inside of her tank, she's like, I don't like it. We're gonna move Wednesday to a bigger tank, I think a 70, and it's gonna be bioactive. Cool. I recommend that, I don't know if you're doing this like soon, but I recommend that you get, because I know she has some of this, I recommend that you make sure she's like all the way healed or close to being all the way healed, and the shedding problem is good first, because I wouldn't want the like bioactive, not that I don't think it will, but I wouldn't want her to get like messed up somehow in the enclosure. So I would just make sure that she's ready also. And I would also recommend, I know it's bigger, so you can't, it would be bigger than her current enclosure. So I know you can't like exactly how it is, but I would recommend putting all the decorations in place that they are in the smaller tank that she's in right now, and using kind of like the same substrate. Maybe even if it's not dirty or to be changed yet, take the substrate from the smaller tank and put it into the bigger tank when you are like when you're switching them, and that way it looks like, it smells like her tank, she knows where she is, it's just like a little bit bigger. And don't put in any new decorations right away. I would recommend you kind of ease them in slowly, like throughout the like span of a few weeks. That way she's not like, what is this, where am I? Because ball pythons can get stressed with enclosures. Because like think about if you're in your house or apartment, and then one day you're just like picked up and you're in a totally bigger, different place. You're gonna be like, what's happening? And you're gonna freak out. So I would just like ease her into the new enclosure slowly whenever you do. That's great that you're upgrading her. We're going to slowly add real plants because we don't want to scare her. Ooh, super cool. Just make sure whatever your plants you're getting are reptile and ball python safe, of course. I'm sure you know what you're doing though. I would do real plants with Petra, but I just know that she would like run them over and destroy them. I had air plants in here at one point. She had 3 air plants. She had one over there where her thermometers are. She had another on that wall, and then that was on, if you're familiar with the channel, that like branch wall thing right here. I don't want to like move it to, okay, I can't really show it, it's annoying. Hold on, there we go. This little like branch wall thing that she has, there was another, and she just kind of like climbed on them, and at one point she pulled the leaves off one somehow. Like it looked like they were plucked off. I don't even know how she did it. And then she brought all the materials into her burrow. Like she was pretending to be a bird. It was crazy. She brought like all the stuff and the leaves that she took off the plants into her burrow and made like a little nest with them. I was like, what are you doing? So yeah, slowly, one by one, the plants disappeared. So Petra gets no plants. No plants for Petra. You're so helpful. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Me and Petra try and be helpful whenever we can. I mean, Petra's not really doing too much over there, but she's part of it. She's helping. So with that, you're at 30 minutes, so if you guys have anything else you'd like to say real quick, feel free to put that in the chat, and then we're gonna start wrapping up. She's here for more. Yeah, that's what it is. She's here for moral support, and she's here for moral support, and she's here to look cute. She's doing all her jobs. She's checking all the boxes. Okay, so with that, thank you for joining us, everyone. Super fun answering your questions, talking with you. Glad that we can help some people out. All the things that the big YouTubers say. Like, subscribe, hit the notifications, all the things. And yeah, thank you for joining. Good day or night, wherever you are. And yeah, bye. Petra, you're so sleepy today.